Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be talking about Endgame, the upcoming expansion for Battlefield 3. There was just a new video released on it. It's a little teaser video showing some of the Motorbike gameplay. Now, if you're not a premium member and you haven't seen this trailer, you're not missing too much. It's very short, and they don't really show too much in-game gameplay. Basically, it starts off with a support class on one of the new dirt bikes that's going to be available. Then it shows the support class with another guy on the back of his bike, and they're chasing another dirt bike that also has two soldiers on it. So there can be two people on the dirt bikes. They also show a wheelie being popped by one of the dirt bikes at some point in the game, and apparently this is going to be a feature that you can do in game, so you can pop wheelies. I don't think it's going to have any sort of tactical advantage. It's just going to look cool. One of the bikes proceeds to chase the other bike through a little dirt road going through the map. They shoot at each other a little, they go off a jump, and then there's a scout helicopter that takes out one of the bikes, and the second bike manages to stick some C4 onto the chopper. They detonate it, and there's a giant explosion, and the trailer ends. So basically the second person on the bike seems like they're going to be able to both fire and do stuff like throw C4 and whatever the heck they want off the back of their bike while you're driving around. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of new ways to blow up armor and all that kind of stuff with dirt bikes. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to trying out the motorcycles and stuff like that. The maps themselves don't look too, well, at least the map that they showed so far really doesn't look too engaging. It looks very much like some sort of Caspian border map. Hopefully it's well laid out. Alright, so let's talk about some of the confirmed details that we have about the new expansion. There's going to be 4 new maps designed for high-speed combat and action. As we saw in the trailer, there is some jumps built into the maps there, so I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of jumping gameplay with jeeps and dirt bikes. There's going to be 3 new vehicles, which includes the agile dirt bikes. Now there's going to be dropships. I don't know if this counts as one of the vehicles. I don't think it does, but it says new dropships provide support to ground troops with vehicle drop capabilities. So I imagine it could be something like a C-130, not the one with the big cannon on the side, dropping tanks or jeeps or whatever out the back with parachutes and stuff like that. They have those capabilities in real life, so that'll be interesting to see if that's what it's going to be. It sounds like a cool way to get armor into certain areas of the map without having to drive it the whole way. Could be a lot of fun. We'll have to see how it balances out. Hopefully it's not just cool looking and it actually works well in terms of balance and gameplay. They're introducing some new lightweight anti-air vehicles to help fight off air attacks. So I imagine these vehicles will have less armor and stuff like that, but just be maybe more prevalent around the map rather than just having one anti-air tank that's sort of very key to your anti-air defense. Maybe you'll have a bunch of lighter ones that aren't quite as good or quite as heavily armored, but just the number of them will make them more effective against shooting down air. We'll have to see how that works out. It's kind of a cool concept. It sounds like they're really trying to speed up the gameplay in this rather than have slow lumbering armor. It sounds like they're just trying to have a lot of really fast gameplay, lightning fast vehicles, all that kind of stuff. Apparently DICE wants to bring back the Capture the Flag game mode into Battlefield 3. We saw this before in Battlefield 1942 and in Battlefield 2. They weren't particularly popular game modes back then, and we'll have to see if it's a popular game mode in the new one coming out. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Capture the Flag, especially in Battlefield, just because the map's going to be very large. I have a feeling that a lot of the work's going to be done by just a few people, and the rest of the team isn't really going to know what's going on. Compared to a game like Rush, where you have the team working together, you can often tell when your team's getting close enough to an MCOM to arm it. You can support the MCOMs being armed. In Capture the Flag, all it can take is just one good player on a dirt bike to come in, take that flag, get the flag back to the base. Sure, you can have teammates that cover them and stuff like that, but I find that in most public matches of Capture the Flag, there's very little teamwork, and it really just depends. It seems to be more of a game of chance more a game of luck or being in the right place at the right time. I've never, again, not a big fan of Capture the Flag, but we'll have to see if they implement it well. It could be a lot of fun, could be pretty boring. Out of all the things I've seen so far, I have to say, well, one, the dirt bike is kind of a toss away for me. It's basically a two-wheeled ATV. You could have some cool maneuvers and stuff with it, but for the most part, it's not going to be any sort of game changer. It's just going to look cool visually. I am excited to see what the vehicle dropships are going to be like, because I've never been a big fan of the way that they do vehicle spawning in Battlefield. I think it could definitely use a complete rework. It's just they're so stuck with their classic game mode, their classic game style, that if you change it up, people are going to get really upset. But they're adding in a dropship now. It's going to allow you to apparently spawn vehicles in or somehow call in vehicles. I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but any way to sort of mix up the vehicle spawning sounds like it could be a lot of fun. In the trailers themselves, they haven't had a lot that is going to really wow you, at least compared to, say, stuff like Aftermath with the crossbow or Armored Kill with the AC-130 gunship. Nothing has really like popped out as like, wow, this is going to be amazing. The dirt bikes seem just, you know, like dirt bikes. Basically, as you would imagine them to be, that's how they are. They're not going to blow your mind or anything like that. There's plenty of games that have good motorcycle gameplay built into them already. So it'll be interesting to see it in Battlefield, but I think I'm mostly looking forward to the vehicle dropships and hoping that Capture the Flag is actually a good game mode and not just something that feels a bit tagged on. There is unconfirmed news that there's going to be new weapons. I'm not sure if there will be new guns in the game. Does the game need new guns? It doesn't necessarily need them. I'd like them. I think a lot of people would like them, you know, just to infuse a little bit of newness to the game. But you know what? It's not coming out till March, and they've done such a good job with Aftermath that honestly, I'm going to be just fine playing Aftermath all the way till this game comes out. I think these are some great freaking maps. If anybody's held off on getting premium or at least buying any of the expansions, I gotta say, Aftermath is the way to go. DICE really does have their work cut out for them if they hope to top the job that they've done on Aftermath, especially with map design. You know, so far all we know is that there's at least one large open map, and hopefully that's well designed. I would like to see some more up-close urban maps as well. We'll have to see. Again, it's just too soon to tell with Endgame. We don't have enough information on it to make any decent predictions, but I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing those cool US city maps that a lot of people were hoping for. It doesn't necessarily mean that Endgame isn't going to be awesome. So anyway, that's what we know about Endgame. I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys think that we have in store with Endgame. Are we going to see any of those US city maps? Is it going to be more outdoorsy maps? What do you think we got in store? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.